Hey, it's Jeff at Lockdown Security. Today I'm making a video on how to buy a key fob from our website. Now, directly above this video, where we have it embedded on our site, is a search bar which you can enter in what's known as an FCC ID, an IC ID, or the antenna ID number. And if we have your key fob that works with any of those numbers, it should serve up in our search result. Now, I'm just going to briefly show you what an FCC ID or an IC ID is. It's basically an ID number that is written on the back of your remote control. Now, this is a CompuStar brand remote, and if I look at the back, I'm going to see there's a model number, 1WFM4R. You could type that in and this remote should show up. There's an IC ID, there is a battery ID, as well as a serial number. Now, if you look at this auto start key fob, if you look on the back, there's a website as well as an FCC ID. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. If you enter any of this information into the search bar, the correct key fob should show up. Now, a lot of customers do not have a key fob for their vehicle. They buy the vehicle without it, they've broken it, they've lost it, so they don't know specifically which key fob to use. So we have another way for you to find the key fob, and that is through the antenna ID. Now, this is an example of an auto start antenna, and on this antenna it says SR 433-100. If you enter this ID into our search bar, it will not only bring up this antenna, but any remotes that are compatible with this antenna. Now, I'll show you some more examples. This is a CompuStar antenna. It says ANT-SS2G. Same thing, if you enter that ID, any remotes that work with this antenna will come up on the search results. Now, these antennas are generally located on your front windshield, either in the upper left corner or behind the rearview mirror, and they are generally either this kind of shape, or sometimes this shape, or this shape. Now, I'm going to briefly show you an example. This antenna is an ANT-2WSP, and if I grab the camera here, I'll show you our website picture. This is what our key fob section looks like. You can see I've pre-typed in ANT-2WSP, and I'm going to hit search. So if you had this antenna on your windshield and this number was on it, you could enter it in our search bar, you hit search, and the compatible remote controls, both one-way, non-paging, and two-way paging, will show up. So that is basically a synopsis on how to order a remote control from lockdownsecurity.ca. And lastly, if you still cannot find your key fob, you can call us at 1-866-824-4118, or feel free to email us sales@lockdownsecurity.ca.